Hey guys, it's Michelle Bodkin here with KSL Sports, Utah Utes Insider. I am changing it up, doing things a little bit differently here, trying out some video, and I have my very first special guest here with me. You might remember him, Andre Lewis, wide receiver for the University of Utah, and he's now up to some interesting things that I think Utah fans will be interested in. Andre, how is it going?
Oh, it's going good. Thank you so much for having me here. Happy Friday, happy Saturday. I don't know what today is, but it's a beautiful day outside out here in Utah. But thank you for having me, Michelle.
Your career at Utah didn't exactly go how you wanted it to, and yet you rep Utah all day. Like, why is that?
You know what? Like you said, it didn't go the way I had planned it to go. But at the end of the day, coming from a junior college, being able to explore, the beauties of Utah itself. It gave me like a different look on the actual situation. Like, yeah, I didn't have the best season that I, expected myself to have, but, being around all of the great group of guys that I had met, all of the coaches, meeting people like yourself, being able to just be here in Utah, in Salt Lake City, it was just an amazing experience. And not too many people are able to go to a Division I Pac-12 school, and for me to be one of those guys, that's just a blessing in itself, so I'm going to rep the University of Utah. I'm a Utah man until the wheels fall off, so it's go Utes all day.
You spent 2 seasons with Utah. Through that time, what were some important lessons that you took away from that experience?
I took, one of the biggest things I took out that experience was respecting the process. I say that every single day. Coach Whittingham, that was one of his core values, was just respect your process. And I think that was another thing that just got me through it. I just felt like, that was my process and I had to respect it. So that was one of the biggest things that I took. And the second thing that I took out was never giving up. Just keep really fighting, because after the Michigan game, the third game, I had just scored my first touchdown the second game, and I was like, oh man, I'm super excited, I may get this opportunity, and things didn't work out, and from there, I wanted to just I'm done, I don't want to be here, but then I had to just really look why would I walk away from all of this? Why would I walk away from a school that's giving me this opportunity to not only play football, but to also get an education? And I need to stick this out, and I guess that still goes back to respecting your process. So, but if there was one big thing that I could take away was, respecting your process and just being, around a really great group of individuals who not only, and they may not know this, but not only helped me get through those first 2 years and the last season and everything that had happened, they motivated me to just keep doing it for them and not give up, not, quit, just keep fighting for them, because it was bigger than just myself. It was something with the team. So those would probably be the 2 biggest things I took away from being up here for 2 years.
You really took time for the fans. Utah always has the little peewee teams come in. You were always the first one to run over to those kids, and you were always the last one to leave. And things like FanFest. I think one of my favorite stories is one year at FanFest, before you would sign these kids' shirt, you made them sign your shirt first. Do you still have that shirt?
I still got that shirt.
Where is it?
You know what? I actually framed that shirt.
You did?
When we graduated, Utah was so great that they gave us our senior year jerseys and had it framed with our senior photo. And I had that shirt with me, and I was like, you know what? I gotta frame this shirt. I don't want to wash it. I'm already getting too big for it, so I'm just gonna frame it. So I got it folded up in my room, and it's hung up right there on my wall, right next to my jersey. It's nice. Yeah, you know what? It's a trip, because a lot of those fans, the little ones, had some really good signatures. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are actually signing some dotted lines today.
Right.
It's been some years since I've seen them, so I'm pretty sure they're grown and doing some great things out there in the world now.
Your time at Utah was very interesting. You were there during a very transitional period for Utah football. The first season was the 2013 season. You guys were 5-7 to end the year.
Yeah.
And then you had the 2014 season, where it kind of felt like you all had figured out how to be a Pac-12 football team. Looking back on that time, Could you ever imagine, though, the heights that Utah's climbed to now since that point in 2014?
You know, like it just goes back to the people who was who was in a WAC originally. Like, you know, they got us to the Pac-12. They started this whole transitional period. And, you know, when I first got up to Utah, we didn't have the facility yet. Like, we were still in this small little shack of a, like, locker room.
Yeah.
And they were telling me, like, oh, yeah, you know, we got this new facility, you know, millions of dollars. Like, okay, like, what's it going to look like? So to see the facility and then come back for the spring game after, like, you know, 6 years, and to see all of the new things that they have, to see them going to the Rose Bowl, you know, seeing guys like Devin getting drafted in the first round, guys like Marcus, stories like Tim Patrick, you know, JC guy who's now, you know, making noise for the NFL, and, you know, just to see all of those things and to know that I was a part of that, to be able to say, okay, yeah, we went to the Las Vegas Royal, this was a long name, Las Vegas Royal City Purple Bowl.
Or whatever it was, yeah. It's changed its name since then, too.
Okay, that's good. No, that's good. So to do that for, you know, back-to-back years and to win those back-to-back, for them to go 10-2 and to see all the things Whittingham is doing. They won 10 games. We know that.
There's no debate about that.
10 games. We're not debating on that. We don't even look. We're not tripping about the L's. We 10 W. You know. So for us to be able to, like, you know, see that and to be a part of that, to give back to that, and to see, you know, the team, you know, excelling, you know, through the roof is an amazing feeling to know that I was a part of that. That's why I love Utah so much, and I'm gonna, you know, be that Utah man and always remember the team song, because, like, come on, man, this is Utah. This is the best fans, best student section, best looking field, best coach, best staff.
Saying it all. Saying it all. But talk about, you just barely came back for the first time in forever. You're seeing the city, you're seeing the campus. What's going through your mind seeing just how much Utah and Salt Lake and the University of Utah has changed?
Salt Lake City is still a beautiful city. Like, being in this bowl, getting off the plane even the dang the airport.
Yeah.
The airport is even brand new. Like, to see the airport and all of the changes that they've made, you know, to get off the plane and still see how beautiful the scenery is with the mountains and everything, it's still an amazing feeling that I get. And then to go up to the campus, you know, to see more trophies added into the facility. You know, to, you know, go back into the dining facility and eat the food. It was all nostalgic. It was unbelievable to see all the changes downtown is making. You know, new things are opening up. There's a Cane's out here. There's an In-N-Out out here. I remember In-N-Out and stuff wasn't even out here when I was going here. You know, and the facilities, the school, the people haven't changed. The people are still really down to earth. I love the people of Salt Lake. Like, they're all down to earth. You know, you can give them a call at 3 a.m. They'll pick up the phone and come and help you out. And, you know, it's always been like a real family community to me whenever I come back to Utah, honestly. And it's to see everything that's been going on, to see the changes. I feel like this is definitely a home away from home. I haven't been here in 6 years. Came back, and I came back the following week because I was like, I got to go back to Utah. It's too beautiful to not go back often enough.
One of my favorite stories from your time here, and I think interestingly enough, it connects you in a very special, unique way to this past year's team, is the story of your jersey number and the one play that you had while you were here at Utah. Talk about that story and the significance behind the number, and then how that kind of ties into, you know, what was happening with last year's team and the number 22.
So, we had just finished our season. You know, everything had, you know, came to the end. We was like on Christmas break, and, you know, we were able to go back home. And, you know, I get this news that, you know, my mother had passed away, and she had passed away at the age of 49. And for everyone who may remember, you know, I was number 88 originally, and changed my number my senior year to 49 in the memory of my mother. similar to the 22 situation. Like
Yeah.
his brother decided to say, hey, my brother just passed away. I'm going to change my number to 22, and everything had happened. Both times with unfortunate times of events and situations. It was a devastating thing for me, just like how it was a devastating thing for the whole Utah football team as far as Forever 22 goes. And for me to change my number, to get that one play, and to make it a 49-yard catch, a touchdown,
Yeah.
which is kind of ironic, serendipitous, I should say. It was just a really special moment for me, and everyone on the team, K. Scott, Dres Anderson, Trav, Tango, Jeff, like everyone, Damo, they was all super, just there for me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't no one that was on the team that had passed, like the recent years of what had happened. So for that connection of the team, this recent team, I can see. I think I seen an interview with Devin. He was saying, I wear this wristband in a memory of him. We wanted to win the Pac-12 championship in the memory of them as well, and for them to go out there and have the dedication. And that was another reason that I didn't want to give up, because I was like, my mom had just passed away.
Mm-hmm. I
got this number on. I didn't get the best season, but I want to finish this out. I want to finish my school out, and I'm going to dedicate that to myself. And I promised myself that, just like how these guys promised themselves to win that Pac-12 championship, get to the next, the next round, and just to play at the speed, at the potential that they know that they could and should play at, not only for themselves but for their fallen brothers. And it's Forever 22, so I can only imagine what that team had went through when that had happened. I believe it was back-to-back years as well. So I can only imagine, what the team was going through, what the families was going through, what the coaching staff was going through. It was. Losing someone is always devastating.
Yeah.
Even K. Scott going through with his loss with his mother. And he talked about it with you guys in his book. So it's I can only imagine what the team was going through, and to really make that promise to say, we're going to do this for them and ourselves, and they go out there and do it. That shows a lot for that team, and I believe even next year, they see like, we just won a Pac-12 championship. We had a good hard-fought game in the Rose Bowl. The outcome didn't come out the way we wanted it to come out, but we got there, and now they know like we can do this again next year, and who knows, we may be able to get this W. So as long as they're always progressing, as long as they know that they can do it, as long as they're respecting their process, who knows what this team is capable of doing. They're in the Pac-12 for a reason. They got out of the I believe it was the Mountain West that they were in before. They got out of the Mountain West, got to the Pac-12. Like you said, we was 5-7, and every year after that, we've just been getting better and better and better. And we've all go through our ups and downs. And for that team, they weren't just riding the ups; they were also riding the downs, which made those downs go right back into the ups. And if you can ride your downs, your ups is going to just keep going up. And you may have a down again, but you're going to go right back up. So
Yeah.
I give kudos to that team for just sticking it out and fighting for their brother that they had just lost, both of them that they had just lost. I couldn't even imagine. I know if I was on that team, I'd be like, look, you guys, we definitely doing it for them this year.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely proud of you guys for the accomplishments and the success that you guys have been doing these last few years, and keep going. Respect your process, like Coach Wood always.
It's always about respecting the process. Another part of the process of being an athlete is when you stop being an athlete.
Yeah.
And your process was very interesting. You tried a lot of different things. Talk about that journey and how it's led you to where you're currently at and what you're currently doing now.
Oh yeah. Look, like you said, I definitely was doing a whole bunch of things. I graduated, and I thought I wanted to be a coach, and I did the coaching for a little bit. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be a coach. Then I went into training, and I was, working out. I was doing bodybuilding for a little bit, and after a while, I'm like, do I really want to do this for 10, 15, 20 years, just working out every day? And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Then I go into real estate. I'm with Compass, and I was, selling homes. I was helping buyers sell. I was known as a lifestyle designer because I was, designing the lifestyle that my buyers and sellers wanted to see. Then, we go through this worldly situation, in 2018 and 19 where things stopped completely. So, I had to figure out, am I going to keep bringing my buyers and sellers into these virtual tours and, having a hard time trying to help them buy a house or sell a house? I'm like, you know what? I gotta figure something else out. So I'm sitting in my bed, I'm watching YouTube. I'm watching the show, the Hot Ones, the show with the hottest wings.
Okay.
They eat the chicken,
Yeah.
super hot sauce. I'm watching the show and I'm like, why can't I do this? I feel like I know enough people where I'll be able to, interview them and have some content, and I know like a director who will be able to, help me with the edits. I said, I'm gonna call my guy. So I called my guy Jason, and I'm like, hey Jason, I got this idea. It's called let's do YouTube. You'll be the editor, I'll be the host, and the show will be called So What Do You Do? He was like, what is it gonna be about? I'm like, well, we're gonna interview different entrepreneurs, different businesses. You can be a librarian, you can be a NASCAR driver, you can be a tattoo artist, you can be an NFL player, you can be an NFL coach. You can have 200 followers, you can have 200 million followers. Whatever it is that you do, if you're proud about it, if you're excited about it, we should be the platform that promotes it. Because you see all these other platforms that's doing it, and they're only doing like verified accounts, people who got thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of followers. I'm like, no, I want to do everybody. So he said, yeah, let's do it. And we started our first season. Our first season hit like hundreds of thousands of views, like in just the first season. I'm like, dude, we wasn't expecting this. Mm-hmm. So we drop another season, and the second season does the same thing. Now we're on 5 seasons. We're on our 5th season. This was just like a pandemic idea just to get by, and it turned out to be like an actual career.
Yeah.
We're getting paid off YouTube. We have sponsorships and stuff like that. We're able to travel to different areas and interview different entrepreneurs. You guys, we actually did an interview with Michelle. So if you go to our Instagram, So What Do You Do, and look into the IGTV, you'll see the interview with Michelle talking about what it is that she does. This is different for me, so I'm pretty sure it was different for her getting interviewed that day too. But she did a great job. But it's been fun. We've interviewed over 100 different entrepreneurs on IGTV alone, and we got 5 seasons on YouTube. So it's
crazy.
Yeah, it's been fun. We've done K. Scott. He talked about his book. He talked about him being a former athlete. We done Marcus Williams. Mm-hmm. We did little Kyle Whittingham.
Oh my gosh.
Who's the defensive quality control coach for the Chiefs.
Yeah, Kansas City.
So yeah,
good old Alex Whittingham.
Yep. So it's definitely been fun stuff. I love what I do. Which is ironic, so what do you do? So.
You've got a couple of special episodes that you're working on that are Utah-based, kind of around your time spent here. Preview those episodes, and where can people go and watch them?
So we actually came, this is the first time So What Do You Do went out of town to film. Usually, I said we go out of town, like we're located in San Francisco. When I say out of town, we'll go to like San Diego, LA, which is 6 hours away from freaking, the Bay Area. But to be out in Utah for the first time to film an episode was the dopest experience ever. And we're actually going to be dropping those episodes next month. First Friday, we did the Park Cafe. We go down there, we interview Sean. Sean is talking about, him being open in the Park Cafe, right across the street from Liberty Park. Best breakfast, hands down. Go get the French toast foolishness. Tell them Andre and Michelle sent you, and Sean's gonna hook you guys up. But the Park Cafe, all the Utah U athletes. If you guys want to see some Utah U athletes, go to the Park Cafe. You never know who you might run into down there. But I went down there just because it was it was old memories, and I used to always eat down there with the French toast foolishness. K. Scott took me down there. Lucky took me down there, and I was like, you know what, let's do this interview with Sean. Then after the interview with Sean, we go up to the University of Utah and we do the interview with some of the team. So we interview like some of the must students who was playing in the game. We interview some of the athletic trainers. We interview some of the strength and conditioning coaches. We got an interview with Spence Eccles, the legendary Spence Eccles. We got Spence in there, and yeah, you guys got to stay tuned for this, man. So look on So What Do You Do, SOO, What Do You Do? If you don't know what you do, you need to ask yourself, so what do you do?
The host with the most.
The host with the most. The host with the most on the show with Michelle Bakken. Y'all don't see him, but we got Andy Muniz back there on the camera. So shout out to Andy back there, always showing love. And you know, we got this like Andy is like our offensive line.
Yeah.
Offensive line don't usually get the credit that they should get, but without Andy, we wouldn't be doing none of this right now. This is the quarterback. I'm just the receiver.
Hey.
Andy's the O-line.
Yeah, shout out to Andy, our offensive line.
Right there.
Dre, you know, why is being a Ute so special? You know, what does that mean to you now as an alum versus when you were actually up at campus, on campus, at school, in the mode?
What does a Ute mean to me? It means I am a Utah man and I live across the green. Our gang is the jolliest that you have ever. Nah. Yeah. no. Look, being a Ute to me, it just means, you know, just being a genuine person. You know, someone who is hardworking, someone who is dedicated, someone who wants to get the job done, someone who, again, respects the process. You know, someone who's gonna, you know, follow the rules. A Ute is just, man, look, that's a good question right there, because there's so many things that you can think about that. Like, yeah, you know, this is my college, you know, this is my alumni school, so, you know, I had about 6-7 different offers, you know, ASU, Oregon State, Cal, Iowa, and Iowa State and stuff, and I chose Utah because of just the scenery, just the people, just the vibes, the campus. You know, it's a calm state, it's a calm city, but it's still like super like just fast paced in its own way. Like it don't follow no one else's speed. It stays on their own speed. And that's how I am. Like I'm not gonna go follow someone else's speed. I'm gonna stay on my own track. I'm gonna respect my process, and I'm just gonna stay consistent. And that's what I see Utah. I see Utah as a place that's always staying consistent. Always, you know, looking to just keep going, and, you know, just, oh man, like I can keep going about like Salt Lake. I can keep going about Utah and the campus. Like growing up in San Francisco and Bayview Hunters Point is completely different from the University of Utah, and I loved every moment of it, honestly. Honestly, I just, a Ute. Look, a Ute. I got the thing tatted on me. I don't even know if you may not be able to see it, but I got the Utah Ute drum logo tatted on me because it's, yeah, I loved it here. I loved it here.
Always so pleased to hear that
Go
from
Utes.
former players. It's nice when former athletes come back and feel a sense of home.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't happen everywhere. And I've even heard that about BYU athletes as well. They like coming back.
Yeah.
There's just a sense of home here.
You know what? Saying home, the mountains, if I can describe Utah and it being inside of a bowl, the mountains is like our security blanket.
Just
and
like
it's
a
just
big ol'
giving us a
hug.
big old hug. Just come here, you guys. Who's gonna give you this hug? Come here. If I can hug you guys all right now, I would. But we're all being hugged by these beautiful mountains that's surrounding us anyway. So that's our security blanket. Thank you, Utah, for giving me my hug. I needed it.
Dre, where can people find you and keep up with what you're doing?
You can go to my Instagram page. It's the host with the most. Or you can go to our business page, So What Do You Do, SOO, What Do You Do? So what do you do? If you don't know what you do, get out of everybody else's business and go ask yourself, so what do you do? And if you do know what you do, come talk to us over here at So What Do You Do, because we would love to interview you guys like Michelle is interviewing me right now. And It's going to be all fun. If you have a business, if you're an entrepreneur, come reach out to us. YouTube channel. So what do you do? SOO. What do you do? No, but thank you. No, thank you. This has definitely been fun. You know, I love coming back here. I love coming, you know, just seeing the campus. I'm going to make it a habit to keep coming back more often because this year is even going to be crazy. First game is against Florida.
Yeah.
We're going to get that W. I'm calling it out right now. I'm putting it into the world and into the existence already. So we're going to win that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be nothing but red in the stands of Miami, Florida.
So, I thank you so much for sitting with me, and I think we need to give the people what they want. The Go Utes.
The Go Utes.
Yeah.
Look, can we get it? Can we get it to get like? Can we get Michelle, Andy, our offensive lineman? Can we get Michelle in here so we can both get it?
Go for it.
Oh my
Michelle,
goodness.
you sit down right here. This is already framed up for you.
Oh.
It's already framed up for you right there. So we're gonna count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Go Utes!